Yo, it's crypto blood, Detroit flow, streaming from the D, knowing what to show. Indicators are on point, OG since 12, investing in trade, living life like a pro. I'm Rucker, Jerry, and just bloods do. Bad motherfucker in a good way, boo. Got my eyes on the charts, ain't no time to sleep. Get that money, gotta keep it creep. That's why crypto blood, just the toasters on the line. Stacking my coin, got the market on my mind. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum too. Cash is king, but I'm looking for a new move. I know the culture of the markets like the streets. Got my finger on the pulse, can't nobody beat. I see the trends, I see the flow. Got my strategies in place, you know.
Stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash, stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. Since I was born, been stacking my coin. These niggas pop, my money keep growing. Your girl is a dot, she all on my groin. She blowing my horn, we fuck like porn. These rappers is whack, they lyrics is corn. I'm getting this money, it never get born. I'm loading my strap, they calling the law. Fuck around your clap, for running your jaw. If it ain't about the dollars and it don't make sense. Got me sipping brown water, but it ain't from Flint. Trying to chase all this bread, though the shit won't last. About to shut the city down like a crypto crash.
Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Okay. Ready? Fucking thing sucks. We'll do it live. Okay.
We're doing it live, ladies and gents. Back at it again. Try to give you some live trades, but honestly, you just might as well just go ahead and sign up, man. Sign up, Bloodalytics.com. I can't get you all the trades for free. I simply can't do it, ladies and gents. Check out Bloodalytics.com right now. Sign up so you can get these types of trades we're about to go over today. Listen, great setups pushed by Bloodalytics today, guys. We'll take a look at that chart in here in a second, but get over to Bloodalytics.com and find out more information about these powerful sets of signals. All right, we're going to look at the lunar too, because I think we just had a new moon, so we got to see what the lunar signal is looking like. That's the swing trading signal based on the lunar cycle. Saw a big huge moon in the sky this morning, or last night I should say, so definitely going to check that one out. And I think we did have a new moon. Either we just had one or we have one coming up. Looking at the setup for today, oh man, house of trades, man. I'm gonna have to increase the price, man. We had well, I'm not going to really talk about the London session, which started back here. I mean, we're getting close to open of the US at this point on Bitcoin. I'll go ahead and go full screen there for you. As you guys can see here, we're starting to make another leg down, but what I wanted to show you was that we tried to attempt a long position here at 8:30 this morning, got stopped out, but turned around and went short. Boom, right there. 50% of our profits right there, and another 25% right there, and we're in the money right now, ladies and gents, with that short. Scalpalytics Pro short, very similar. Well, actually not very similar. This was a trade that was initiated late last night, early morning of this morning, 12 a.m., 12:30 this morning. I wouldn't have traded this. So, but if you trade, hey, you trade this, you trade this. This is another short. And it's deep in the money. Took our first take. We went long here, or went short here. Took our first 50% profit here. Another 25, another 25, another 25, another 25. We're just making all the money, ladies and gentlemen. Just making all the money. Yesterday's trading session, though, I will have to say was a loser. A loser. Did not make money yesterday, guys. Did not make money. We got Dave Digital in the house. Samurai Wallet creator sentencing is happening today. What a damn shame. Absolute insanity, man. This game has changed so much. It doesn't make any sense. Thanks for that news, though, Wiz and Bars. hit that like button as you guys get in here, please. All right, let's get more eyeballs on the screen. Hit the thumbs up. You're watching on X. Follow me. I'll be doing another stream later at 1 p.m. I'll share it on X. Not even sure who these fellas are. They just reached out to me to do an interview. I think they are with they have a podcast called The Block Runner. So we're gonna go over there and check those fellas out. Shout out to The Block Runner podcast. I'll be on with them at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. So come check me out over there. But today we're going to talk about what happened with Mara. You know that name. You know that ticker. Mara is Marathon Digital. And geez Louise, they did something that I thought was a little shocking. Florida J in the building. Fusaka on ETH is moving. Fuscrow. Check it out. All right, Florida J. Might have to take a look at that. But right now, man, we're trying to make some money. Dow Jones down hard. But more importantly, you guys know we got to look at NASDAQ. NASDAQ down 1.5% today. And what did I tell you guys on yesterday's stream about a certain level? Didn't I tell you? Did I tell you to watch a certain level? And that certain level, I'm going to redraw it for you really quickly. Was what? This area. What did I tell you guys yesterday? I said it will have to take an act of God for us to get back above this level. Once we breach that, it just takes a lot of momentum. It takes so much effort to get back above that zone right here. And I'll go ahead and name this or relabel this. Okay. Let's go ahead and relabel this to the flash crash wick. So this wick, guys, this is the wick that from yesterday I told you guys to watch this area. I don't think we will get above here, because for us to wick down here and see that much buying, is when you see a wick down here and you see an 8%, 9% wick going back up, 10% wick, guess what? Those are the bulls shooting all of their ammo. They shot their shot. They don't have unlimited money. So when they use those bullets up right here, and we saw the market slowly make our way back down, and then we saw a more natural move back up. This is more of a natural, broader market participation to defend that line. But a lot of those bulls, and of course, there's some short selling covering here as well. You do have to, recognize that there's some short selling right there. So covering, I'm sorry, some short covering right here, in addition to some buying. So that's a little exacerbated, but a lot of bullets were used here, and a hell of a lot of bullets were used here to get back up here, double top, and we rolled over again. So the bulls are going to be, without looking at any metrics, without looking at any type of order flow, order book, I'm just looking at pure price action. I can tell that the bulls at this juncture have run out of steam. They've tried mightily to keep this bad boy up and keep, but that flash crash wick, I said we would probably run up to it. I didn't think we would get through it. I would have been very impressed if we had. We didn't, and we're rolling over yet again. And I think this rollover will unfortunately take us to the grave digger, ladies and gentlemen.
Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga.
Yeah, they coming for you. Bulls, Bitcoin bulls, they're coming for you. I'm not going to even hold you up. They're coming for you. The bears are coming for you, my friend. The setup just doesn't look, it looks like a failed attempt to get back above the flash crash wick. And in today's episode, again, I'm going to look at this article here out of Yahoo. It's really out of CoinSpeaker, but about Marathon Digital and their move. We'll take a look at that in a second. But stock market not doing well today. NASDAQ down 1.5%, which is a big move for the indice. Target sloppier stores are wearing on shoppers, and its turnaround could hinge on cleaning them up. Nah, that's not true. They ain't got shit to do. Younger consumers are eating less Chipotle and Kava. They are buying more Coach. Huh? Man, they just come up. This is why I just come here to check out the indice, to see what the indice is doing. Because all this other crap, bro, is just literally them having to pin a reason to the madness. And it's never right. Mentioned last week, we go sub 100K. You sure did, Zero Fucks. Every time we go way above the 21 MA, it's always, and I mean always, going down. 111, 500 was a resistance to clear. Didn't happen. Cash on hand, discounts coming. That's what I'm talking about, bro. I'm in your camp. I know AI Griff is as well. You know, he called it. I felt like he was right. We got another swing high. One more high just to take out, give a big middle finger to everybody who thought the high was in at 124, 123. One more last just middle finger to you, to the shorters. But ultimately, I think top is in, definitely. I don't want to go over it again. Feel like I'm beating a dead clock, but a lot of people watching probably haven't seen my previous streams. And, you know, I just fear articles are bullish for the brave. Yeah. But I just, you know, I always show this table, coin glass table, that illustrates the performance month to month for Bitcoin. Okay. And this table, just to reiterate, you know, October, we've only had 3 red Octobers, and I exclude the 14, honestly, even though that would show my case more or prove my case more, but I'm going to exclude 14. That was a whole different market. I was trading and owning and participating in the Bitcoin blockchain industry back then. So I remember this is not the same market 2014 as a 2018, and for damn sure not a 2025. So I'm just going to take these two. Okay. 2 times is not a pattern. I understand that, but we got to start at least putting it on our radar. We've only had these 2 red Octobers out of all the slew of greens we see here. And guess what? What followed this red October in 2018? A negative 36% return for November. Yes, more blood gathering sacrifices are coming, my friend. In my opinion, yes. I think that's what's incoming. So just have some dry powder ready, like Zero Fuck said. You got to have some, listen, in order to capitalize from a downtrend or a fall, you got to have some dry powder to buy. You can't be all in, because then you have to just sit there and watch. And it's a missed opportunity. So again, 36% negative return in following the last red October we've had. and we almost damn near identical negative return for October in 2025 this year. And we're starting off November at a negative 5%. Will we end up like this, neck down another 30%? I'm not saying it's guaranteed. I'm just telling you, I'm just showing you the pattern. You have to do your own assessment on what that means for you. But another 30% lower or anything remotely close would literally take us down in the $70,000 range, which I do have some lines down there. So like this trend line at 79,000 would be a good one to look at. But what concerns me this go round, and you know, the whole cliche, it's different this time. Well, yeah, I think this bear move down is different this time because we have MicroStrategy, the looming. This is the black swan, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to tell you. We're going to look at Marathon Digital here in a minute. They're one of the bigger Bitcoin mining companies. They sold a whole bunch of Bitcoin, $250-60 million worth of Bitcoin. Why are you selling Bitcoin? I mean, miners sell Bitcoin because they're mining, right? They're making Bitcoin from the mining operation. Maybe have to sell Bitcoin to cover capital expenditures or et cetera, whatever. Sure. Could be the case. We'll look at the article. We'll take a look at the CEO as well and see what he has to say. But Rage Against the Machine in the building. What's going on, bro? But this time is different because we start getting to $90,000 Bitcoin, $80,000 Bitcoin, $70,000 Bitcoin. If there wasn't all this hoopla and overzealousness from the strategy group, they've been buying, probably the largest net buyer of Bitcoin, at least one entity, I would say, publicly traded at least. Because they've been buying so much, they've actually got us higher than where we should be. So if they have to force liquidate like Marathon Digital has, if strategy has to start selling, it causes a cascading effect, a big cascading effect. And you'll see, instead of us stopping at 60, 70 or 70, $80,000 Bitcoin, $79,000 Bitcoin, where maybe we should, we might get a overshoot, which we get this in Bitcoin every damn time. We may get an overshoot to see, I don't know, another wick down to 50, or even go see Elmo down here. Well, Elmo's at 32, 30, $40,000 Bitcoin, but $60,000 Bitcoin, which honestly is only a 40% correction. Bitcoin does this in its sleep. So all I'm saying is having dry powder would not hurt. If you're up right now, having dry powder for the end of the year would not hurt. Would not hurt. Zero Fuck says conviction is going to be massively tested, so those who have it will be rewarded in the long term. Choose your fight, people. Choose your fighter. Yeah. Oh my God. $70,000 Bitcoin would be great for cheap sats, but sadly, bodies will be dropping from people getting liquidated. Exactly. Who's going to be around to get that beautiful $70,000 ass? Hyben in the house. Not why, but who are they selling to is the real question. Needing answers. Hyben said he's been buying since 113. Oh, God, boy, I tell you. Hyben. Hulk Hogan is coming for you.
We coming for you, nigga.
Yeah, I think you kind of jumped in late, Hyben, but we're not in a good position right now. Could be the setup for US SBR. SBR or SDR? You talking about that? What is the SBR? But we got a rejection at, as I stated, Hyben, we got a rejection at the flash crash wick area. So this is not a good look right here. A rejection here. I think a move down the 96 is highly in play. From there, where do we go? I don't know. I'm just telling you, I think a move down to 96 is in play. Maybe a bounce before heading lower again. But it's not looking good for two reasons. For internal, crypto ecosystem reasons. We're in a very weird area right now where MicroStrategy is pretty much the they write our history or our future. They're writing our future, man. Our future is in the hands of MicroStrategy and the Wall Street gods, unfortunately, from a price perspective. And they're not looking good. MicroStrategy is in trouble. Been in trouble. Been telling Crypto Blood's been telling you for what year and a half? They've been in trouble. Secondly, if the stock market can't hold up, it's definitely over. If they can't keep this bad boy running, and we got the repo markets and reverse repo, really the reverse repo market is in shambles. It's got so much money piled up in the reverse repo that the Fed. So this is how the reverse repo works. So that reverse repo vehicle was made in, I think, 2020 and during the pandemic, and it was a way for essentially banks, institutions, everything to kind of like stash their excess reserves somewhere where they can draw some interest on it. So that's what they were doing. They were parking their money all at the Fed, at the reverse repo window, and just keeping it there and making money off of it. But they got so much money in there. That means if they're drawing interest off of it, guess who's paying that interest? The Fed. The Fed is in a very, very bad situation, man, because they're damned if they do, damned if they don't. They make a move to de-incentivize or disincentivize, whichever one it is, people parking money at the reverse repo window. Then that money comes flooding back out, and it causes all types of chaos, all types of problems. So they pretty much painted themselves in the corner. Jack Mahler on his podcast said that the CEO of Strike said what? Wasn't bars. They must be watching Crypto Blood. I mean, on the low. I'm sounding like Hassan Campbell, right? Every idea every original idea comes from Crypto Blood. Every original idea comes from Hassan Campbell. They still in there for me, ladies and gents. Just give me my props. That's all I'm telling them. That's all I'm telling them, white boys. Give me my props. So yeah, we're in a very precarious situation right now in crypto. So let's go ahead and take a look at this article. Mara dumps Bitcoin. So Marathon Digital moved roughly 2,300 Bitcoin worth $236 million to exchanges, including Coinbase Prime, Galaxy Digital, Falcon, blah, blah, blah. The transfer raised alarms across crypto, resulting in fears of a miner-led sell-off just a day after the company reported impressive Q3 results. So their Q3 report showed revenues of $252 million and a net income of $123, marking a 92% increase in revenue compared to last year's figure. That's great. The firm mined 2,100 Bitcoins and purchased an additional 2,257, bringing the total holdings to 52 53,000, almost 53,000 Bitcoin. Given the bullish fundamentals, the timing of the large Bitcoin transfer was puzzling to investors. While such transfer often precede liquidations, crypto enthusiasts suggest Marathon could be restructuring its treasury or setting up for an over-the-counter deal. Palantir getting slaughtered. Ever since Michael Burry came out and said he's shorting the hell out of that bad boy, and then the CEO of Palantir had the nerve to get on CNBC and say it's un-American that someone would short their stock, unpatriotic. They're doing the work of the Lord. That's what the CEO said of Palantir. Man, this shit. Listen, this sounds like not only top of the market but end of the market type activities, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, the audacity for this guy to say they're doing the work of the Lord. They're doing a noble cause, huh? Being Big Brother 8.0, like Big Brother on steroids with AI. You call that being and doing the good of the people? Come on, man. And I'm not even going to talk about what they're doing over in small hat land. It's just, yeah, no, you're not doing the work of the people. Sorry, buddy. You shouldn't be mad at. Here's my thing. He shouldn't be mad at a person shorting. That's part of being a market, right? That's a market. People have their own decisions and own opinions about where things are. But hell, a PE ratio of, what are they at? What's their PE ratio? 3,000? Something just diabolical. 300, 400 PE ratio. I think it's in the thousands, to be quite frank with you. I think Palantir's PE ratio is in the thousands. Oh, it's at 400. It's at 415, which is diabolical. It's crazy work. It's crazy work. Absolutely crazy work. Look at that PE ratio. 415. It was higher. It was like at 600, I believe, before this move down. They've been selling off big time. Look at this. God dang. God dang. That's one day. Okay, that's one day. But look at this. Look at the 1 month. Look. Yeah, so their PE ratio was like, I think, over 1,000. It's just unsustainable, guys. Come on now. This is what, Amazon had a PE ratio of over 1,000 back in the .com bubble. Think we're getting a little overzealous here. Think we're getting a little overzealous. But back to Marathon Digital, the big Bitcoin miner, and why they moved, quote unquote, I'm going to put in quotes, moved 236 million to exchanges, is not to just have it sit there and look pretty. You do that in your own wallets. So clearly they're about to make a liquidation event or move. Let's take a look at what the Marathon Digital CEO had to say on Bloomberg.
Earnings that ended the quarter of September 30th. You've gone over some of those results. I'm curious to get a better read into how things look right now this quarter, especially because this quarter includes October 10th, when billions of dollars in leveraged crypto positions were basically wiped out. Can we start by talking about how the large liquidations affected your revenue as you use derivatives-based strategies to generate yields?
Not badly. I mean, we don't necessarily use futures, future contracts, other than in a costless collar methodology that allows us to essentially enter and exit positions in a way that doesn't affect our holdings overall. So we weren't, if you look at what happened in the course of October, none of our positions was negatively affected. So we actually went in and acquired Bitcoin opportunistically, as price allowed us to do it.
Right.
We said at the end of our Q2 call that we felt the market was frothy. It's coming to levels where we think it's appropriately priced now. So.
What do you think of yield strategies in general? For instance, using perpetual futures or options to enhance returns?
Well, we actually do something much more basic. We lend out our Bitcoin to people who are very credit worthy and don't provide concentration risk or credit risk, and that allow us to call that back on a very short-term basis that provide a guaranteed yield. It's kind of like the real estate business, and it works quite well. We try and stay away from a little bit more of these edgy strategies. We do have a small portion of the Bitcoin that we actually actively trade, but the vast majority of our Bitcoin yield generation is done through very conservative lending arrangements.
The summer was really the summer of digital asset treasuries, DATs, and we've seen how they exploded in popularity, but interest has kind of waned in them. Are you sticking to your Bitcoin treasury strategy even with that interest kind of dissipating?
Well, we're not a digital asset treasury company. Let's start there. We're a Bitcoin miner that just happens to hold all of our cash in Bitcoin. We've never put ourselves out there as a DAT.
Now, let me say this. If I had to own a company, right, have exposure in a more traditional TradFi way, it would be something like Marathon Holdings. At least they actually create something. Like they've got CapEx, they've got physical assets that they own to mine Bitcoin. They're making revenue from mining Bitcoin. There's an actual business there. And it's funny that he even went so far to make sure you understood he was not a digital treasury company, Bitcoin treasury company. That shit is ridiculous. That's the most retarded thing I've ever seen. That's like having a publicly traded company that just holds Bitcoin, that just holds gold. They just hold gold. Why am I investing in a company that just holds a non-productive asset, a non-yielding asset? It doesn't make sense. I can't be the only person in the room understanding this. I can't be.
Never really positioned ourselves as a company.
Okay, but you're still planning to hold on to those Bitcoin holdings and not change that approach?
Absolutely.
Okay. Very quickly, Fred, I'm curious about what kind of AI initiatives you're considering, because we've seen other crypto miners get more involved in AI, like Cypher and Iron. And I'm curious whether your investors are pushing for more of an AI transition for you to kind of embrace that more?
Well, today we announced a deal we are in the process of completing with MPLX, where we will build and operate 3 gas-fired power plants on the gas pipeline, which will give us up to 1.5 gigawatts of reliable 24/7 power, if you would, and the ability to build data centers, which we then have optionality to do HPC or AI. We also announced today that our first inference AI site is operating in conjunction with Bitcoin. So we're co-locating and co-operating Bitcoin and AI on the same site using similar infrastructure. It doesn't need water cooling, it's air cooled. And we believe that that will provide us with market leading price per token for AI.
All right, ladies and gents, just wanted you to hear that. Like Soul Strategies, let's see here. Had to mute that. Voice Crypto says, like Soul Strategies stock, it's getting completely wrecked too. Soul Strategy? I don't know about Soul Strategy. Not sure about them. Yeah, it just doesn't make, bro. It does not make sense to own a stock that owns something and you can just own yourself. I just don't understand. That's just like some fucking Wall Street, black magic voodoo stuff. Like, it's no point. They're just tricking you through all this terminology and advanced financialization tricks to make it seem like holding their stock is better because it's the NAV is positive, and that just it's insane. It's insane, guys. It really does not make any sense. I wouldn't hold a Bitcoin treasury company if my life depended on it. I really wouldn't. But a mining company, possibly. Oh, they hold Solana. Same thing. I don't care. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense, bro. Whether it's Solana or Bitcoin, it just doesn't make sense to own a stock that owns something that you can own yourself. Especially with crypto, like the barrier to entry to buy a Bitcoin is like your finger, your thumb. Your thumb, that's the only thing in your way, and your bank account. Make sure you got your checking, savings, and connected to, so that can all happen. But man, that's ridiculous, bro. That is definitely the top for me. All right, that's it, ladies and gents. Marathon Digital moving $250 million in Bitcoin over to the exchanges. You can't tell me it's not for anything other than to sell. What does that mean? Is that a canary in the coal mine event? I don't know. We're crashing further. We're not crashing. We're moving further down. As I stated, I was right. We clearly got a rejection at the flash crash wick that happened on 10/10. I told you this would most likely happen, and it did. Hope you guys listened to me, made some moves, got some dry powder, and I'll check y'all on the next one. Oh, by the way, just got word. I won't be doing the podcast at 1 o'clock today. That will be rescheduled. So I'll give you an update on that as soon as possible. It's your boy Crypto Blood. I might hear people holler.
Chase all this bread, though the shit won't last. About to shut the city down like a crypto crash.
Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live! Okay. Ready? Fucking thing sucks! We'll do it live. Okay.